spring cleaning, in the colonic world, it's really suggested, every change of season, summer, winter, spring, and fall, is when you should do a serious detox. Start with the colon, go to the liver, go to the kidneys, and so on and so on. And as far as colon hydrotherapy, I mean, if you've never had colonics before, we try to get a person in with at least a series of 3. And you want to do that series of 3 within a week period of time. You don't want, like she said, you don't want a lot of time to go by. And our session takes about 45 minutes, and it's done with an enclosed machine, and you're using anywhere from 10 to 20 gallons of water. Pump it in, let it out, pump it in, let it out, to get around that, and you'd be amazed at what comes out. But like Susan said, I mean, there's several different ways of doing things. I mean, that's a pretty aggressive way. There's no
and I
pain,
think you
there's
get better
no-
results for like 2 weeks before that if you use the herbs to soften it first, and then it would kind of already be soaking and softening, and then when you do the colonic, you know, you get.
Well, I've been really trying to get with Susan to come up with some kind of program for people. We need to do that.
Yeah, well, that's called the lower bowel formula, and I have a handout just on that one formula. And that's what I would definitely refer people to get the colonics, but first start softening them, like give it at least a week of taking the lower bowel formula to soften it and get it started.
I used to, well, we still can provide it for people, but I did a detox program here. It was through a company called Melise, which it was founded by Dr. Linda Nelson, who's a holistic doctor, but it was using all herbs. And that was basically, you take the herbs and then you go on a liquid diet, and that really cleaned you out, fairly well.
Yeah, so, herbs, the food, the waters, these are how you clean out the inside of your body. And then to maintain it would be to continue eating clean food and not, don't reverse.
And another thing too, how do you know if you're regular or not? Most people today are constipated, whether they know it or not. I have clients that come in and they go to their doctor, they think they're constipated, they haven't gone in 3 days. Oh, that's okay. I mean,
There's people who haven't gone in a month.
It's crazy.
You should be
It's
eliminating
crazy.
3 times a day, up to 3 times
Well,
a day is
the perfect situation, which I eliminate 1 or 2 times a day. It depends on, and you have to make time. I mean,
And it definitely depends on
we
what you're
train
eating.
ourselves to go when we want to go. But take a baby. I mean, when you eat 3 meals a day, you should basically be eliminating 3 times a day. About 20 minutes after a meal, you should be eliminating. That's not what you just ate, but that's
That's moving through.
you're
what
moving
what's
through.
already
You're
in
moving
there.
through. So, a rule of thumb. I mean, if you want, that's the ideal situation. If you eat 3 meals a day, you should be eliminating three times a day. And when you're eliminating, it shouldn't be difficult. I mean, straining puts a lot of strain on the body, particularly the eyes and things like that.
And causes hemorrhoids and things.
And you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, there should be little to no odor when you eliminate.
light color.
Light in color. It should actually float and not sink. Now that goes along with your diet. What are you eating? If it's sinking like a rock, what are you eating?
Yeah, there should be no odor. There should be
Yeah.
no odor.
But if you are a raw foodist, you don't need as much cleaning.
Well,
You still do, I think you still.
Still do, but not as much.
probably not. Most people know their body. Are you eliminating 3 times a day? Are you eating 3 meals a day? Are you eliminating 3 times a day? Are you how do you feel? Do you always have headaches? Well, what's the color of your skin? I mean, surprisingly, well, a person with a really bad colon comes in and gets a series of 3 to 5 colonics. I mean, you can actually see their skin clear up. I mean,
Yeah, because that meant the colon wasn't eliminating toxins, and so the skin is the largest organ in the body, and it was starting to come out through the skin instead.
their skin starts looking better, their eyes start looking better, everything.
Hair color
I mean,
is
yeah.
then you can come
Even
back.
your perspiration will stop smelling so much.
Right, yeah, if your breath smells, if your
Bad
sweat
breath,
smells, that's signs
bad
that
body
you're toxic
odor.
inside.
Does the animal fat cause mainly skin cancer?
Does animal fat cause mainly skin cancer? What do you mean, eating it?
Yeah, a person eats a lot of animal, meats and dairy products.
Diabetes.
Yeah.
Dairy
Oh, yeah, diabetes too. But is there a high incidence of skin cancer for the people that eat a lot of meat and dairy products?
Well, I haven't heard like animal fat be singled out as a thing of skin cancer, but I have definitely heard toxic conditions in the body that the sun is baking them on the skin is what they're saying is skin cancer, is toxins, coming out to the surface and the sun interacting and it's toxic related. And there's been people who have cured skin cancer just by drinking grape juice and being in the sun, and letting the sun be a cleanser, drinking grape juice. I mean, it has to be pure grape juice. But that's how one man actually cured himself of skin cancer.
Who?
It's just a story in my master herbalist class that was repeated.
How do you get testosterone?
Because grape juice is actually the closest thing to human sugar, glucose, of anything, is grape juice.
How do you get testosterone if you're raw food?
Well, you mean you're trying to eat testosterone?
No, how do you get it? Because as a meat eater, you do.
Well, your body naturally produces it. So if you're eating things that is giving your body everything it needs to do its functions, then your body should be able to make it, naturally. There shouldn't, even hormone replacement therapy, if nature is saying you don't need estrogen at these levels anymore because your childbearing years are over, that's not something that we should be saying, oh, yes, I do, give me it at the same high level again. I mean, you're going against nature, why nature shut it off to begin with. And there really shouldn't be that many symptoms of menopause. It should be, pretty natural if you were clean. It's the toxins that create that big, all those symptoms. And same thing with pregnancy. There shouldn't be a lot of swelling, a lot of nausea. If you were clean, you should not have any swelling. You should not be nauseous. Nausea is caused by the body views the fetus as a parasite, actually.
I just want to know, it's crazy, but I used to eat like that for about 2 years until I got pregnant. No animal, nothing, all raw food. And I've never felt healthier and just nothing, it was just great energy. And I got pregnant, and immediately my doctor said, you have to have milk, you have to have meat, your body's craving all this stuff. And I was so sick for 3 months and healthy, like majority of my life, water and everything. I got gestational diabetes, and I tried to tell him, I said, I think it's because my body has never had sugar and milk, and, or haven't had for 2 years, and I think I'm just like, it was borderline, so he treated me like it was. And it was crazy, but they were telling me I needed that, and my body, I think, was telling me, you're killing me,
Right,
And it's just, I've always wondered, but I've never had anybody
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
kind of confirm.
Yeah, because even just, this is just an environmental ecology thing, but the further away you eat from the source of all food on the planet, which is the sun is the source of all food on the planet. It's the only thing that can make food is the sun. And the first line of the food chain is that chlorophyll molecule. That's why that's the most potent thing to eat, because that is the only thing, is chlorophyll, that can take that sunlight and turn it into energy and food. And so at the first line, if you say, okay, well, the green chlorophyll plant has 100% of the sun's energy, and you're eating that, let's say an herbivore comes along and eats that plant, and then you eat the herbivore for some reason, you are the herbivore or whatever, you're actually now 90% decrease in the energy that that plant had from the sun. And every time you eat one level away from that first source, every time is 90% decrease. So if you're eating a carnivore who ate the herbivore, then now you're, so let's say it was 100 times, and it's, every time it's 90% more. So, and then if you eat a secondary carnivore who ate a carnivore, who ate an herbivore, who ate the plant, you know, you're like 1,000 times decreased in what you could have been eating. And people who say, you know, oh, well, where are you going to get your protein from and your muscles and all this? I mean, look at a horse, look at a gorilla, look at a dinosaur. You know, the longest, largest dinosaur with that long neck. Does anybody know what that one was called? What, brontosaurus?
Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus. He was a vegetarian. And cows, you know, but a horse, let's look at a horse, because that's muscular, running, energetic, strong animal, does not eat any meat. Where is that horse getting protein from? You know, they're eating the grass, the direct first line of the food chain. So to answer your question, you know, to say you need to eat an animal that ate the grass instead of the grass itself is, you know, you're eating their leftovers, what they already took out of the food and you're just,
Well, even the test, the sugar test when you're pregnant, I mean, they have you drink like this pint of pure sugar, food coloring, everything. My body was in shock. I mean, I hadn't had sugar in 2 years, any form of white sugar, and I was so
that's
sick.
just crazy.
And they're like, oh, your gestational. I'm like, I mean, I was
Yeah.
just like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
I
because
couldn't believe they made me drink
when
it.
you drink, when you eat sugar, it knocks out 1/3 of your immune system cells before it even hits your stomach. Your body
Yeah.
increases the white blood cells and it attacks that sugar. That sugar is an enemy in the body. So yeah, it's just they just have no training in nutrition
No,
at all.
because the pharmaceutical industry sponsors
Oh,
the medical school.
I know, don't even get me started on
Right.
Let's not
Yeah.
forget.
Okay, I had like a pack a day of vitamins, prenatal vitamins, because my family's all into pharmaceutical stuff, and I was gagging and getting
Yeah, you
nauseous
needed to
and
drink
sick, and I was
juices,
like,
you know,
oh, what am I doing?
What about raw
They
organic
make more
sugar?
money
That's
than-
not good either.
Well, if you need sugar because you want to bake something that, you know, you just want to use that granulated sugar, the best source would be the sucanat, which is dehydrated cane
Yeah,
juice.
Right.
That would be the best. Fleur crystals aren't that bad either. That's
I use
also,
sucanat.
but yeah, the sucanat is, which they
Which
sell
is
at Publix,
almost
right?
hard to find. No, I had never seen it.
Oh, no?
Yeah, they have it there.
They do?
Sucanat? Yes.
Certain Publixes, maybe the ones
It's in
that
the
have the
organic
green white stuff.
section. They have it there.
Yeah, if you need a dry sugar, otherwise, if it's a wet recipe, you could use apple sauce or date juice. If you soak dates and like for a day or something, you get the juice from the dates, which is very sweet.
About agave.
Yeah, agave nectar is what, like, when my son wants pancakes, you know, which are, of course, whole grain and all that, but we use the agave nectar instead of, it's the most closest thing to the syrup consistency with the, it comes from the cactus plant. And there's also,
Rapadura, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but I was reading about that there's something called Rapadura, I think it's called. And they said it was better than Sucanat or anything else.
oh really, what's it
Yeah.
made from?
I'm not quite sure, and I looked it up, I didn't have time to read about it. And
It's
you
dry?
can order it, yeah.
How do you spell
granulate.
it?
I think it's Rapadura, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
we'll look it
Rapadura.
up.
And I was just reading about it. The study was supposed to be the best alternative.
Yeah, there's you know, they're coming out with products all the time, which we live in a phenomenal time, really. You know, as bad as things are getting bad, they're also getting phenomenally better. I mean, if you were in Little House on the Prairie days, you know, you would be stuck with whatever you could shoot at, or you know, whatever you caught. You know, they fished and they caught wild animals, or even the Indians. I mean, they didn't have juicing abilities and you know, all these superfood supplements.
Get it at McDonald's.
Yeah. But they ate like lard, and I mean, sugar was a real treat. But oh, the stuff they ate was really disgusting.
They had natural fasting though.
Yeah,
Periods
yeah.
where they had no food.
Yeah, they ate a lot of cornmeal, and they had molasses,
They had
which they
clean
did get
water.
from the trees, you know, the maple syrup out of the trees. They did do that. they definitely, you know, ate a lot of really disgusting things that nowadays, you know, we have access to, you know, so that is one plus. You know, you could not have all these great juices.
Yeah, you just gotta, find out where it's coming from and what the deal is. Like, I've been getting some of your emails and stuff like that, but I was kind of aware of everything that's going on with the government and organic and, all the kind of stuff. And I was wondering if, does anybody grow food?
Well, you know,
Does
white
anybody
rabbit.
garden?
We do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
White rabbit.
But even at home, we have.
Yeah, actually, I'm
Yeah.
encouraging everyone to start a garden at home even, you know, like, yes, it's fun to be in a community garden and you can learn.
Does
being
anybody
there.
sprout?
Yeah.
But sprouting, there you go,
Herbs.
that's another great
I know a lot
thing,
of
is
fresh
sprouting.
herbs.
Because
Here,
we
write that
were
down
thinking
real
about having a
quick.
class on container growing and sprouting.
Yeah,
and
sprouting
all that-
is,
all that
yeah,
kind of
when the
stuff.
food is the most nutrient dense. I know, I didn't even talk about
You can
sprouting.
get a pot, so Publix right now has pots of cilantro, they're huge, $3.99. And then that grows tall, and then you can get the seeds, or actually generally the seed itself all over the place. That's the one that removes mercury the best out of the body. I think one of the only foods that supposedly pulls mercury out of cells. So you can go get at Miracle Mall Plaza at Publix, they've got the cilantro, it's beautiful, $3.99, giant pot.
Yeah, getting your own garden at home, that would be like the advanced CSA, well, you know, for some people, because if you had to learn it as a group and you had no skills or knowledge, and you just, you know, for some reason it's really mysterious to you, then you could just apply different things at home. We're trying to encourage these victory gardens again, you know, like they had in the 40s, which the government was really promoting because of the food shortages then. Now, they're not, it's a different time now. They're not necessarily telling you to do that anymore. I guess I won't even get into that. But they're not offering these videos, which I just ordered. I will just watch. It was a 20-minute little Victory Garden video where they were really pushing it. You know, have your own garden, have your Victory Garden, and telling everybody how to do it, where to get the seeds, and, you know, really promoting it. And that's a movie, actually, you know, depending if you're on the email list and what your interests are, that I want to show maybe here with some of these other movies that are
It's a gardening
related.
lesson.
Yeah, well, that one would, you know, because I do still believe that we are coming to times when money is going to get more and more worthless and food is going to be harder and harder to buy. And this is your way of combating that, growing the food yourself. And at home, you know, is the best ideal, because you don't have to travel to go find it. It's right there in your yard. And we do want to provide those services with some of the people at the farm who want to train, you know, and just train and train and train. Make sure you've got it. And then if you need help getting that dug out, or, you know, whatever you need to get it.
The government stuff, we have been, hasn't been laid off since November, so we're really tight right now. And I've always been organic and all stuff, and so I just applied for WIC, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Women, infant, children. It's milk, cheese,
White bread.
white, not even that, peanut butter with corn syrup only, nothing organic. And that's it. And I'm like, this is what you're giving all these poor people who,
Saltine crackers, there was a whole
I
list we
mean,
got.
it's so, and Cheerios or all these sugared cereals, that was the other one. And sugared fruit juice that's corn syrup added, and I'm thinking, my gosh, you know.
And that's
you
what they
can't
said
even get a
happened with
peanut
the
butter without corn
Indians.
syrup. Like, we're-
Right.
Well, because the meat industry and the Dairy Cattle Association receives 100 times more subsidies from the federal government because they can afford to pay for the campaign of the congressman. It's so
Right.
rotten and corrupted, but that's the truth. That's what's happening.
The other statistics I heard is that actually in the United States, if everybody was eating the amount of fruits and vegetables that would be healthy, there would only be enough fruits and vegetables to feed 10% of Americans.
based on what's growing.
Yeah, we're growing a lot of corn and wheat and these other things, so
It's
really, if
cattle.
we, as a whole, we're being very burdened by medical costs and all of that. It looks like an unsolvable problem, but if everybody would actually eat the fruits and vegetables, which they're gonna probably have to grow themselves because
Right.
the industry's not growing
Right,
it,
right.
that's like the only solution to get out from under this huge economic burden. It's affecting everybody in this country and of course the whole world, so
Absolutely.
it's really the
I've
only
got
way to
friends
go.
with small children who never purchase, vegetables or fruit, and they have small children, and these children are learning, and I'm like, what do they, and they don't.
Macaroni and cheese.
They don't purchase it.
They
The
open
kids-
packages, their lunch
Corn,
boxes are open
I mean,
packages, yeah.
And they
chicken
call me like
nuggets,
the granola bar.
Hot dogs.
yeah, hot
Don't
dogs,
fall
pizzas,
for
always
the
the same
American
ice cream.
empire.
That's what
That's
kids
the
are
hard
eating.
thing, birthday
Every time we go to
parties.
lunch, yeah, the child
That's
menu
what
is
Churchill
like
said.
hot
You're
dogs,
not gonna
macaroni
get
and
taxi
cheese,
driver
chicken
trouble if you
nuggets.
do. That's
It's
exactly
like,
what's happening.
we never order off
I know,
that.
I just did the boycott birthdays because, and
Yeah,
every
birthdays
holiday,
are long.
Easter,
That was the
Halloween,
hardest.
all that, and my kids for
Yeah.
like days, wake up, can I have sugar, can I, and I, you said that cooking thing, it,
Oh,
it's like baby crack.
Yeah.
I'm like, quit asking me for lollipops, quit asking me, and they won't even eat the other stuff anymore.
Right.
Now,
Because
they
you
taste
know
it
why?
one time.
And yeah, their taste buds change, but also those internal bacteria, and they have a
That's why I
very
wanna be
strong,
with you.
loud voice that will say, give me this, I want this. And when you start changing your food, what you're eating, you're gonna be changing those internal bacteria. And for a while, there'll be that struggle where the old ones will be starting to starve and screaming mad, you know, give me this.
I mean, I guess they just don't eat for a few days. 'Cause
Who?
you do-
The
my
kids? That's how you change children, actually, is you just only offer them what you want to offer them, and if they don't want it, then just wait 3 days until they do.
They get hungry.
That's a book.
I'm serious, you know, because you know what, if you ever fasted for like 5 days or any length of time, you know, and you finally can have something to eat, you know, a piece of lettuce is like, you know, or an apple is
I
like,
did that
wow,
one
you
night,
know.
and I just, the whole, like, when they wake up at 2 in the morning and their stomach's down, oh, me, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm killing my
well,
child.
no, you can offer.
But the result is
food.
worse. It's
Yeah,
worse.
exactly.
So I have to like,
Well, you know what though, it's also like, well, where did they even get that taste from the beginning?
all their friends, not, and then the one time, I can't believe you don't give your kid white sugar. Okay, and then that's it. It's just,
My son was gonna be here today, but he's at the farm still, but he was gonna, I mean, he could talk, you know, and,
but has he always eaten good?
yeah, so even as a baby, like avocados are a big deal, you know, a baby could live on avocados if their mother wasn't around, like in third world countries, you can puree avocados, and that has a complete food, and that's good. So anyway, come eat, I guess, and, there's handouts.
There's
Yeah.
some websites, interesting websites that some of the people here would be interested in having access.
Like what?
Well, the Hippocrates.
Oh, right, Hippocrates. Yes, Hill here is a health minister from Hippocrates. Has anybody?
No,
not
no.
Hippocrates, Hallelujah
Yeah.
Acres. Has anybody heard of Hallelujah Acres? Yeah, you can get
That's
on
a
a free
wonderful website.
magazine that will come to you that has recipes in it and stories of people who had diabetes, cancers, and all these things, and the way that they traditionally ate, and how when they changed their diet to eating juices and raw foods, you know, what, and they're really supportive, great testimonials, and, yeah, hallelujahacres.com, they're out of North.
No, it's Hakers.com.
Oh, thanks.
HACRES.com. It's a wonderful thing.
And you can,
It'll
like
take
you
a
say,
week
get on
to
their mailing
access
list, and
it.
they'll
It's
send you
just-
that publication, I don't know if it's
You know,
quarterly, maybe?
I've been there 2 times, and I listened to the testimonies of 214 people one time, and 350 other testimonies of people going raw food and juices, and they all healed of cancer, fibromyalgia, diabetes. Phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is a miracle, just because you ate great food, you know?
What your body was intended for.
But it is a miracle to people, they can't believe it, you know, but
But
it's just
it is
nature.
They
hard,
lose
it
weight
is hard in
and-
our culture.
And now
Every
they
time
have-
I
they're
went to
building
somebody's
a
house to
community
eat, I
over
could
there
eat one thing. And it's like
for
you're
raw
feeding
food.
them. You couldn't eat, we
It's
had
the
to
only
turn
one in the
napkins,
world.
and every time you, and and you know, you get insulted and.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true.
hard.
You know what though, the flip side of that
It's,
is when you,
Shelby,
like,
North
because that's how it is in my
Carolina.
family.
North or
When I
Charlotte.
have the food that I wanna serve, or the juices, you know, they refuse it, like, it's like, you know, they'll make fun of it or refuse it. But I'll be like, okay, so you refuse mine, I can refuse yours then, you know?
Like, oh, yeah.
I mean,
What
it's
did
a
you do at
joke.
birthday parties though? What do you went to? a birthday
Actually, my son wanted me to make this carrot cake, and if I had time today, I would have made it. It's a raw carrot cake made from the pulp of juicing 5 pounds of carrots, and we come from a farm, actually. It's in Vero Beach. It's called White Rabbit. See that White Rabbit? It's next to the mall, and if you want to ever come visit us with your parents, we'll show you around a real farm with real vegetables you can pull out of the ground and see animals that we have. We have cows, pigs, chickens, sheep, goats that we milk, and chickens you can get eggs from, pick them right out from under the chicken, and it's pretty fun. So after today, I'll leave some information and let you know how to get there if you ever want to come, because we'd love to have you visit. All right, so what we're reading today is These Florida Farms. And this book will also be in your library if you want to read it again. We'll leave it here after today. I love to visit the grocery store. It's where we get food when we buy more. Who thinks food comes from the grocery store? That's good. You guys are in 5th grade. You all know where food really comes from, right? They make everything there. Of that I am sure. It's made in the back and comes out that door. Could it be, my dear friends, do you not understand? Before beans are bagged and carrots are canned, they come from a farm or a ranch or the sea. If you'd like to know more, then please follow me. For fresh fruits and veggies, nothing replaces these Florida farms, oh such wonderful places. With plentiful plants and wide open spaces, growing food for our bodies, putting smiles on our faces. The plants on this farm make a colorful scene. The peppers they grow are red, yellow, and green. And some are quite hot, if you know what I mean. Our farm is a grove, and come harvest time, the trees are so big that these ladders we climb. Take a grapefruit or lemon, try an orange or lime. Has anybody here ever picked an orange out of a tree? Yeah? You have them at your house? Or you went somewhere? Went somewhere? Does anybody here grow any fruit trees in their own yard?
Yeah.
What kind?
I grow grapefruit and oranges.
Oh, that's excellent.
Chinese farms, sugar canes.
Sugar cane? Good. Good thing to go in there.
Banana trees.
Bananas? Excellent. What do you have?
I used to have grapefruit.
Grapefruits? Very good, yeah. Most people have citrus, but you don't realize there's like 30 other kinds of fruit trees out there, and we'll talk more about them when we go. Can this be a farm? Just look all around. It looks like there is no more food to be found. So they're looking at all these rows of green leaves, but they don't see any food. But potatoes so red, so ripe, and so round, just like carrots and peanuts, they're found underground, right? And when you're eating carrots and potatoes, what part of the plant are you eating? The roots. The roots. Sometimes we don't always eat the stuff that's growing above the ground. Sometimes we're eating the roots of the plants. Sometimes we're eating the flowers. Does anybody know when you're eating the flower of a vegetable?
Broccoli.
Broccoli is a flower.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. And there's one other one that most people don't realize. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Okay. Does anyone know the last one that most people don't know?
Collard greens, spinach.
No,
Carrot.
not those. Not those.
Lettuce.
No, this is a hard one.
Celery.
It's yellow.
Squash.
Bananas.
Ooh.
Those are actually flowers. When you eat a banana, you're eating a flower.
Why you say she like me?
Because that the petals are the peel, the sepal. Okay, so these boxes, bee boxes, where honeybees go after visiting flowers in row upon row. They pollinate plants, and hey, did you know without their hard work, our food wouldn't grow? Does anybody know what's happening to the bees on the planet now? You heard anything about bees? Are they doing well, or are they not doing well?
Not good.
They're not doing well. They're actually going extinct. So bees, if we didn't have any more bees, what would happen to the food on the planet? We wouldn't have any. Did any of you see that movie? What was it called, the bee movie?
Yeah.
See how, what happened to the bees when they were dying in that movie and they didn't have any? No more
Honey.
food. No more honey, but no more fruits and vegetables because they have an important job. They're not around to do that job. We would have to do it ourselves. One flower at a time. Move the pollen from the male flower, put it into the female flower. You have to do it by hand. If we didn't have those little bees doing their jobs.
That would take a lot of people.
Yes, and sometimes farmers do have to do it that way. They do have to, it's called hand pollinating. Like for squash, a lot of times you do it that way. You move from flower to flower because the flower is what's going to become the fruit. And is a squash a fruit or a vegetable?
Vegetable.
Who said fruit?
It's a fruit, it's a fruit, it's a fruit, it's a fruit.
Fruit.
He said it, it's a
The
fruit.
fruit. Because why? What makes something a fruit? Is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
It's a fruit. It's a fruit.
It's a fruit. Is a cucumber a fruit or a vegetable?
Fruit. Vegetable.
Fruit. Why are they all fruits? They have seeds. But, you know, I call them a vegetable too. And if they have seeds, technically they're a fruit. And they grow from the flower. The flower. When you see a vegetable plant with flowers, that flower, if you watched it every day, you'd see the cucumber, little baby cucumbers start coming out of that flower, growing bigger. Okay, sometimes the sunshine and rain aren't enough to help plants grow strong in soil that is rough, but Florida phosphate has just the right stuff to fertilize plants when the growing gets tough. What does Florida phosphate do? What is Florida phosphate? Does anybody know?
It's like a soil.
Yes, it's like the soil, like minerals. Where does it come from though?
Cows.
From where?
Cows.
Cows?
Actually, we just read about phosphate in our book yesterday when we were reading.
Yeah, but they said they have to dig it up from the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have to dig it up.
Dig
It's
it
like
underground. Like what?
Like fossil fuel?
Yeah, like a fossil.
it's like a fossil fuel.
Very good, yeah, so sometimes, because our soil in Florida is so sandy, because it's kind of made from living coral, is kind of how Florida soil is, just chopped up shells. And we don't have a lot of nutrients in the soil necessarily, unless there was a lot of, what makes soil richer besides something like phosphate?
Manure.
Manure,
Cows.
cows,
Worms.
worms, yes, worms have a very big job. What else can we do to put stuff back into the soil to make it richer?
Fertilizer.
Well,
It's like manure.
yeah, we don't want to use chemical fertilizer. We want to use natural things.
The peeling of
It's
fruit.
like,
What else is something you're all missing? A very important thing. You take it out of the soil and you eat it.
and then,
Carrot. Like apples and.
Yes, fruits and vegetable scraps. Put them back in the soil. If you keep making it a circle, you take it out, but it has to go back in. Because if you just keep taking it out, then you're depleting the soil. If you never put even the vegetable scraps, make a compost pile. And that will really help the soil too, with the manure, definitely. Our farm is a ranch with lots of cows here. There's also a bull, so don't get too near. In the pastures, we also see wild birds and deers. This farm is a dairy. It has many cows too, but these cows have a different job they must do. They graze upon grasses and moo after moo give gallons and gallons of fresh milk for you. We have goats at our farm that we milk. And if you come out there, maybe we can do a field trip or something, you can see the goats being milked and you can taste goat milk. But most people on the planet don't drink cow's milk. They actually drink goat's milk. It's actually healthier.
You can make soap out of it.
What?
You can make soap.
Soap?
Goat's
Have you done that?
milk. No, but I've seen it on TV.
Oh, that's a new one.
I was on
And yeah, I've heard of milk and soap. An adventure in farming is here. Take a peek. If tropical fruits are the flavors you seek, delicious, nutritious, and really unique, they're Florida grown with an old world mystique. And this picture here is probably far away from some of you to see it, but these are some of the different fruits I'm starting to talk about that we don't always hear.
watermelon.
Well, that one, this one is as big as a watermelon, but does anybody know what kind of fruit that is?
Is it One of them big old things.
It's big,
They
It
shit like a.
prickly. It's prickly.
I got these little pop.
Yes.
But.
Starts with a J. Starts with a J. It's somebody's name.
Javin,
Almost.
Javin,
4 letters.
Javin,
Ends with a K.
Jack.
Jack.
Beanstalk.
Jackfruit. Jackfruit. That grows more south of here, but it's giant and tastes like custard on the inside. And then there's some star fruit. Most people don't grow star, well, it's more popular. Avocados. We can grow a lot in Florida that they can't grow anywhere else in our country, but we're lucky. The sea is our farm. Come aboard if you wish. We'll get shrimp, clams, and oysters, and scallops and fish, and maybe blue crabs. They're my favorite dish. Sorry to rush you, I don't want to be rude, but now that your dinner is thoroughly chewed, we'll visit some farms that do not grow food. These white fluffy flowers put me in a trance. This farm grows white cotton, so don't eat those plants. And we are growing a cotton plant at the farm. Just started, small, but if you want to plant something fun, try growing cotton and see where that comes from. The fiber is used to make shirts, shorts, and pants, clothes that feel cool when we run, play, and dance. Because plants don't just make food, right? We also use them for resources like clothes and what else?
There's,
Shelters.
you could use them for gas.
Gas. How about even what you have your elbow on?
Jackets.
Tables.
Clothes, tables, furniture, right? So plants are very important. A tropical fish makes a colorful pet. They're raised in large ponds and scooped with a net. Get a grip and don't slip or you'll end up quite wet. Now that is a trip that you won't soon forget. On our pine tree plantation, trees reach to the sky. They're a crop that we chop to make things that we buy, like we were just saying. But we plant plenty more. Want to give it a try? Because we can't just keep taking all the trees and not putting them back. Yes, because trees make oxygen. We wouldn't have any air to breathe if we didn't have trees. And what do we make that trees need?
Carbon
Trees-
dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. We switch back and forth, right? We breathe their air and they breathe what we exhale, and we need what they exhale. Here you won't hear an oink, neigh, or moo, and forget about hearing cock-doodly-doo when with gators or ostriches, maybe deer too. These Florida farms look more like a zoo. Our zoo's very nice. They're fun for us to look close up at animals, that's true. They give us a chance to look at the animals. But are they good for the animals? They're not really that good, right? They're usually, they'd rather probably be where they're happy. But what's happening to the animals on the planet?
They're dying out.
They're going extinct too. Why are animals going extinct on the planet?
The climate, like the polar bears, I think,
Well, the polar bears, because
the ice is melting.
the ice is melting,
They're losing their homes.
they're losing their homes. Why are they losing their homes?
People are cutting down the trees.
Because we're cutting down the tree where they live.
We're cutting down the trees, we're taking the space that they have.
Yep,
And
we're taking their
reducing
space.
it more and more.
That's right.
But there's something cool, cause my mom just got divorced, and my friend that I've had for like 7 years, his mom and dad own like 1,100 acres out in Okeechobee, and it's all open range.
You know, I heard they're
There's
making it
a couple
elephant.
houses in the front, there's like 40 acres in the front, and it has like 3-4 houses on it, and a little farm, and then it's just all open woods.
Yeah, that's what the animals really need, but humans are just growing so fast, right? I think 200,000 a day. We're crowding out everybody else on the planet. So it's important that you guys, as you grow up and grow older and you become the adults, that you help take care of things so we kind of give them back their homes and make sure they don't go extinct. This farm raises horses to work or to ride. Some help to move cattle. Some show off their stride. Some love to win races and do it with pride. There's a farm for our friend who has a green thumb. It's a shop where the crop of fresh flowers comes from. There are roses, gladiolas, and a caladium. But please don't make me say, who can say this word? Big long word.
Chris. Cristiano, I mean, Cristiano.
Chrysanthemum. I know, I'm sorry. Let's take a look. I should write that on the board ahead of time. It's time to return from our fanciful tour to the place where the shelves go from ceiling to floor. But remember the lesson this visit was for, that the food we enjoy and so very much more comes from the farm and not from the store. And the last thing I want to tell you guys is, if you become farmers, or grow your own food at least for your families, you'd be ahead of everybody else in the world, in our area anyway. A lot of people in the world grow their own food. But in our country, most people do not grow their own food, and that is an important skill to know how to do, so that when hurricanes come and power shortages and maybe even oil shortages, you will always have your own food. So we want you to visit the farm, learn how to do it. You could do it, we do it on the farm in a group, a big group, White Rabbit. And your families can join, and we can all work together if you didn't want to have land at your houses. So I'll give you information. Maybe you can come visit us and see everything in person. I take this chair. Is this somebody's chair? No. All right. That way I'll be at the same height as you guys. And maybe that'll help you see. All right. So we're gonna get started. You guys can stay finished if you need to. Oh, we'll get started so we can be on time. All right. So we're here to tell you about farms today, and there's a farm you can visit if you want with your parents in Vero Beach called White Rabbit. Has anybody heard of White Rabbit Farm? Let me show you a picture real quick. On my back, White Rabbit is a place where there's a real farm with real animals we're going to talk about and real vegetables that you can come visit us, and we would love to have you and show you around in person. All right, so this book is called These Florida Farms, and this will be in your library after we're done today, and if you need to, if you want to, you can read it again by yourself. I love to visit the grocery store. It's where we get food when we need to buy more. If you guys can't see for any reason, you can all sit in your seats for just, this will take about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They make everything there. Of that I am sure. It's made in the back and comes out that door. Is that true? Food's made in the back of the store? Yes?
No.
How do they make food in the back of the store?
The farm gives it to them.
Yeah, the farm gives it to them.
They just pack it.
That's right. Could it be, my dear friends, do you not understand, before beans are bagged and carrots are canned, they come from a farm or a ranch or the sea. If you'd like to know more, then please follow me. This whole book rhymes. It kind of reminds me of Dr. Seuss, actually. Whoever wrote it did a good job of rhyming. For fresh fruits and veggies, nothing replaces these Florida farms. Oh, such wonderful places with plentiful plants and wide open spaces, growing food for our bodies, putting smiles on our faces. The plants on this farm make a colorful scene. The peppers they grow are red, yellow, and green. And some are quite hot, if you know what I mean. You guys know what that means? Yeah, you had those, right?
I like them.
Some hot peppers. Those are good for you, though. They're really good for your blood. They help your blood flow faster, and that's good. Our farm is a grove, and come harvest time, the trees are so big, these ladders we climb. Pick a grapefruit or lemon, try an orange or lime. Can this be a farm? Just look all around. It looks like there is no more food to be found. See, everything they're looking at here happens to just be leaves on top of the ground. They're wondering where the food is. But potatoes so red, so ripe, and so round, they're just like carrots and peanuts. They're found where? Underground. Because when you eat carrots and potatoes, what are you eating? What part of the plant are you eating?
The flower.
The grass.
Plants.
The roots. You're eating the roots. When you eat the potatoes and the carrots, you're eating the roots of the plant.
Because it grows underground.
And it grows underground. All the roots grow underground. Why do they grow underground? Why do roots grow underground? Well, there's another thing they need that's underground. What?
That so they don't move around. They can
Well,
stay still.
Because because the water goes down into under the ground because the plants underground and
the roots need water underground, soil, and they need the soil. And one other thing, they need water, soil, and sunlight. That's what starts the whole thing. These boxes, bee boxes, where honeybees go after visiting flowers in row upon row. They pollinate plants. And hey, did you know, without their hard work, our food wouldn't grow. Right? Why wouldn't food grow if bees weren't around?
Because bees need to lay their honey on it.
Well, bees make the honey. What do bees do when they go from flower to flower?
They suck up the juice. The flower.
Yeah, what's that called? What do they?
Oh, it's the pollen.
Pollen. They take the pollen out of the male flowers and they put it into the female flowers. And that makes a baby fruit or vegetable. They still need a mommy and a daddy. The bees take it out of the daddy plant and they put it into the mommy plant, and that makes a baby vegetable, which is called a flower. And the flower becomes the vegetable. When you're eating those plants, you're eating the flower is what turned into that cucumber or tomato or squash. That came from the flower. So that's why we need bees. Bees have a big job to do, and if bees weren't doing that, what would happen?
We would die.
We wouldn't have food unless
would die.
what happens? Unless we did that. And we took it from one flower and we put it with our little fingers into the next flower, and that would take a lot of work, right? But the bees on the planet right now, they're having a little problem.
right now.
Yeah. You know
They're
what?
dying.
They're dying. The bees are going extinct. So a lot of things are going extinct. We need to help them. We need to grow bees. And you know how you grow bees? One way, besides having these boxes, is if you just have healthy flowers that they can pollinate. Because some of the reason that they're going extinct is that people are using too many chemicals on their plants, and it's killing the bees. That's a big reason.
And all the gas.
Yeah, the pollution, yes. So we gotta take care of the bees, or we'll be in trouble.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes the sunshine and rain aren't enough to help plants grow strong in soil that is rough. But Florida phosphate has just the right stuff to fertilize plants when the growing gets tough. You guys all heard about Florida phosphate?
No.
No? Anybody know what Florida phosphate is? It's a mineral. It's a mineral that comes from fossils, apparently. That's what people are telling us today. Okay. Our farm is a ranch with lots of cows here. There's also a bull, so don't get too near. In the pasture, we also see wild birds and deer. This farm is a dairy. It has many cows too, but these cows have a different job they must do. They graze upon grasses, and moo after moo gives gallons and gallons of fresh milk for you. We have another animal at the farm that gives milk. Anybody have any guesses what that one might be? Goats. Goat milk. So if you come to our farm, I'll show you milking a goat.
Awesome.
Yeah, because most people in the world actually drink goat milk. They don't usually drink cow milk. Goat milk is actually healthier for you. Healthier. Okay, so an adventure in farming is here. Take a peek if tropical fruits are the flavors you seek. Delicious, nutritious, and really unique. They're Florida grown with an old world mystique. Did you know that we can grow more trees that produce fruits in Florida than anywhere else in our country? And you could actually live on just your fruit trees if you really have to. You could grow avocados, and that is actually a complete food. You could live on just avocados if you had to. It's kind of like
was a
vegetable meat avocado.
There's meat.
Well, it does the same thing. It has protein, lots of good protein avocados.
It's good.
So yeah, avocados are wonderful. If you have put an avocado tree in your yard, you'll never go hungry. Okay. Yeah, the sea is our farm. Come aboard if you wish. We'll get shrimp, clams, and oysters, and scallops and fish. And maybe blue crabs. They are my favorite dish. You can also fish if you needed to, right? If you needed to get food from somewhere.
blue crab.
You live close to the ocean, that's a good thing. Sorry to rush you, I don't want to be rude, but now that your dinner is thoroughly chewed, we'll visit some farms that do not grow food. These white puffy flowers put me in a trance. This farm grows white cotton, so please don't eat those plants. Cotton, what does cotton make?
Cotton make a
Clothes.
bed.
What?
Beds,
Beds, yep, pillows, mattresses.
silk,
Silk?
animals,
Silk comes from something else. What does silk come from?
silk. No, that's another silk.
Something else. That's another kind, yeah. Worms, silkworms.
Ew.
Worms. But you're right, spiders actually, spider webs sometimes are stronger than steel. Nobody really knows that. But if you had steel the same thinness as a spider web, the spider web would win. Okay. The fiber is used to make shirts, shorts, and pants, clothes that feel cool when we run, play, and dance. Cotton is very good fiber to use on your clothes, and it's not just plants and vegetables that suffer from chemicals, but your cotton that you wear. It's important not to have chemicals on the cotton, because that gets on your skin, and that can be irritating. So
There's cotton in the shoe.
cotton, that's what maybe. Oh yeah, the thread. Yep, we use a lot of cotton. A tropical fish makes a colorful pet. They're raised in large ponds and scooped with a net. Get a grip and don't slip or you'll end up quite wet. Now this is a trick that you won't soon forget. On our pine tree plantation, these trees reach to the sky. They're a crop that we chop to make things that we buy, but we plant more, plenty more. Want to give it a try? Because when you take away trees, you should put them back, right? Because what do trees make on the planet that we need?
Food.
Oxygen. Oxygen. We need trees to breathe air. They make air. Here you won't hear an oink, neigh, or moo, and forget about hearing cock-doodle-doo with gators or ostriches, maybe deer too. These Florida farms look more like a zoo. They are a zoo, right. This farm raises horses to work or to ride. Some help to move cattle, some show off their stride. Some love to win races and do it with pride. There's a farm for our friend who has green thumb. It's a shop where the crop of fresh flowers comes from. There are roses, gladioles, and a caladium. But please don't make me say, who can read this word?
Clay. Ooh, you see? What word? Cranium.
Chrysanthemum. That's a big flower with a big flower head. It's time to return from our fanciful tour to the place where the shelves go from ceiling to floor. But remember the lesson this visit was for, that the food we enjoy and so very much more comes from the farm and not from the door. Okay, very good. So you guys come visit the farm though, real life. White Rabbit. And we'll give you a tour. We'll give you a real life tour, just like this book is, but it's real life. It's a lot more fun.
Where is
It's in Vero Beach. It's in Vero Beach, and I'll come back and I'll give your teachers directions. I didn't bring those today. They have a miniature horse that can pull you on a cart, and they want to do that. Actually, in May, we're going to have an open house day today and have the horse giving rides. And that's what I'll do. I'll invite you guys all out on that day, and that will be a lot of fun. Talk about right away, which is, who can read that one? Right?
White rabbit.
White Rabbit. That's the farm that we're from. In my back of my shirt here, this is White Rabbit. So that's a farm in Vero Beach, not too far away, that you guys can come visit and see everything we're going to talk about in this book today. We're going to talk about farms and where food comes from, and vegetables and certain animals. And I'll tell you a little bit more about White Rabbit when we get to the end. So this is called These Florida Farms, and this book is going to be in your library. If you ever want to read it again yourself after we're done here today, you can go look in your library. So, I love to visit the grocery store. It's where we get food when we need to buy more. They make everything there, of that I am sure. It is made in the back and it comes out that door. Is that true? Food made at the grocery store? No, right?
This sounds a little like a Lyman book.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you already heard this today. You mean like a Dr. Seuss?
A little.
A little bit? I think so too. Could it be, my dear friends, do you not understand, before beans are bagged and carrots are canned, they come from a farm or a ranch or the sea? If you would like to know more, please follow me. For fresh fruits and veggies, nothing replaces these Florida farms. Oh, such wonderful places, with plentiful plants and with wide open spaces, growing food for our bodies, putting smiles on our faces. The plants on this farm make a colorful scene. The peppers they grow are red, yellow, and green. And some are quite hot, if you know what I mean. Anybody ever had a hot pepper?
No. Yeah, I did.
You did? Did you like it? No?
Oh.
How about you? You loved it? Yeah, they come in. You too? You like them? Hot peppers are very good for you. Our farm is a grove, and come harvest time, the trees are so big that these ladders we climb. Pick a grapefruit or lemon, try an orange or lime. Can this be a farm? Just look all around. It looks like there is no more food to be found. See, they're looking up and down the rows, and they just see all these fields of green leaves, but they're not seeing any food yet.
I do.
Right? But potatoes so red, they're starting to stick out of the ground. You're right. You did see that. Potatoes so red, so ripe, so round, just like carrots and peanuts, they're found where?
Under the ground.
Under the ground.
How do
Because why are they underground? When you eat a potato or a carrot, what part of the plant are you eating?
Under the ground.
What part of the plant is that?
You eat like the roots
The
and
roots.
stuff?
Did you know that when you eat the potato, you're eating the roots? When you eat the
I
carrot, you're eating the roots?
have baked potato like every day at home.
That's good. Very good. Especially if you keep the skin on, because the skin is where all the vitamins are. Not a lot of people know that. They always peel the skin off, or they scrape the skin off the carrots, and that's where all the vitamins are. So try to leave those on. Just wash it, but don't take it off. These boxes, bee boxes, where honeybees go after visiting flowers in row upon row. They pollinate plants, and hey, did you know, without their hard work, our food wouldn't grow. Why is that? What do bees do for plants?
They get the nectar from them so they can make honey.
And what else do bees do for plants?
They make them live.
They make them live? How do they do that?
Sometimes they leave more pollen on a different flower.
Yeah, they spread pollen from one flower to the next.
If they can't just leave nectar in the flowers for like a whole spring, or they'll just die because we need to take out the nectar.
Right, because they need to make that pollen go from one flower into the next, and then together that makes a new flower, which grows what happens to flowers on plants? What does that flower turn into?
It turns into it grows into a bigger plant.
It grows into the flower, like on a tomato plant. You ever see a tomato plant or a cucumber plant with flowers?
No.
Or a pepper plant with
No.
flowers?
Some pumpkins have flowers.
Yeah, pumpkins have flowers. And what does that flower turn into on the plant?
Oh, some vegetable or something. A vine?
It turns into the fruit or the vegetable. The flower actually turns into the fruit or the vegetable. The next time you plant something, or maybe you can do an experiment and plant like a tomato seed or pepper seed, and watch what happens to that flower, especially a cucumber or squash. You'll see it get bigger and bigger. A tiny little baby cucumber will grow and grow and grow out of the flower.
How do you have a potato plant?
Potato plants You need really good soil to plant potatoes because they grow in the good soil. But you can actually plant potatoes in a bale of hay at home. And then you don't even need to put them in the ground, and they'll grow inside a square bale of hay. And that's a good experiment.
Are there any horses on the farms to help the food?
Well, on our farm, we have one horse, and that horse is gonna do some wagon rides. We're gonna have a party in May, and I'm gonna give you a flyer later this year, in a month or so, or less than a month, and you'll be invited to that party in May when all the corn is ready and the different
Ooh, corn. I love
grain
corn.
plants. Yeah, so we're gonna have a party, we're gonna invite you back. Sometimes the sunshine and rain aren't enough to help plants grow strong in soil that is rough, but Florida phosphate has just the right stuff to fertilize plants when the growing gets tough. Who here knows what phosphate is? Have you learned anything about phosphate?
Phosphate, no, but it's like phosphate.
What is that? Phosphate. It's a mineral that the soil uses to help feed the plants. And in Florida, we have a lot of sand because we live on a giant peninsula, right?
There's like a giant beach.
Yes, a giant beach, a lot of sand is under our soil, different than if we lived further north. So we need to add things to the soil to make plants grow better. Anybody know what else we can add to make the soil better in Florida?
Water.
Water? Yeah, what else? We need some
Sunshine.
sunshine, definitely plants need that, but what about for the soil? How do you get the soil to be richer, more vitamins?
Rain.
Rain helps how the plant takes those vitamins up, but how do we get the vitamins in the soil? Anybody know? What do we put in the soil to make it get bigger?
Seeds.
Seeds are what grow the plant. When you eat vegetables that come out of the ground, and you're taking the vitamins that grew the vegetables out of the ground, how do we put those back into the ground? That you took out. Planting them. If we put those back in and we didn't take them out, what?
Make a hole.
Well, yeah, it's called compost. Have you ever heard of composting?
Composting. No.
Composting, where you take your vegetable and fruit scraps, like your banana peels and orange peels and cucumber peels and the skin of the potatoes that you're taking off, which you shouldn't be, and you put those all in a pile in the ground, and they'll start turning back into dirt. Yeah?
Sounds like you're recycling.
Yes, you're recycling your food scraps, and we're not doing that enough, and the soil is getting really hungry, and it's not enough to feed the plants.